Welcome to the Excel Purpose Show with Counselor. Today we have Dr. Marina. She is a holistic guide, expert on longevity and fertility. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is not a topic I normally talk about, but I'm intrigued because there's a lot of women, mothers that are in my space. And I hear some of their struggles. So I want to dig into this. I also haven't had kids myself, so maybe who knows what will come out of this conversation.
That's right. Unforeseen things.
Okay, let's begin with I'm like, without revealing my age. Okay, so a lot of my friends are in their late 30s, 40s. We're at the phase where some of them have kids, some of them haven't. And I think we are in this era where a lot of women is delaying that because of the whole empowerment movement, and a lot of us have to work probably from the shift of the economy as well. That's requires dual income in a household. So a lot of women are working, and it just naturally, it seems the trend is that we're delaying pregnancy. What's your thoughts on this? Firstly, is that impacting our health, the kids' health? Let's start from there.
Well, yeah, certainly delaying pregnancy past a certain stage will make it harder to get pregnant. And this is a trend that's been happening for a long time. I mean, when I look back at my mother in the 1950s and 60s, she was a working mother, which was really unusual. And, where I grew up in Ottawa in Canada, most of my friends' mothers were at home. So to have a working mother was unusual. Yet she had 3 kids by the time she was 30.
Oh,
so
wow.
Then comes my
She was doing it all.
Yeah, like without a thought. I mean, that's just what happened. And that was very typical in those days, right? Now, mind you, the birth control pill didn't come out until the year that after I was born, and I was the youngest. So that may have played a role.
Yeah,
but then my generation comes, and I decided to go to medical school. So there was a lot of training, like 15 years of postgraduate education. And I did not want to combine it with pregnancy. 1 or 2 of my colleagues did, but it was still pretty rare. So I ended up having 2 kids by the time I was 38. Now my daughter is 33, single. She's still finishing her training as a specialist. She will be done next year, but no kid in sight. And she definitely wants a family. That's been clear from the beginning. So you can see the trend. It's stretching out. So my research
I heard your story about your daughter, right? How she finished medical school, and like the birthday gift she wanted was like for you to help her freeze her eggs.
Exactly. Which shocked me, but shouldn't have, because that's what everybody's doing, right? But it made me realize
she's young too, and that's already on her mind. So is there a recommended period of egg freezing?
Well, certainly the outcomes are better if you do it before 35, but many women don't. So often you will have to go for two or 3 attempts to get as many eggs as possible, because numbers are, what makes a big difference. And that's because the actual possibility that a frozen egg turns into a live fetus is 2.75%. It's actually very low. Women sort of think that freezing their eggs is a guarantee, but no way. It's actually, the chances are not huge. So you build that up with numbers. That's trying to fertilize a lot of eggs.
I thought,
Yeah, it's not that high. And, IVF, if you freeze your eggs, to use those eggs, you have to undergo IVF. So it's not just the initial cost of freezing the eggs, it's the IVF that comes afterwards.
Right, let's talk about that, because when this whole topic was brought up, like one of my friends was like, hey, Carms, have you, considered freezing your eggs? I really think you should. All that. And it was never on my mind until, one of my friends really sort of pushed it. And even then I didn't. I considered it, but I just sort of looked at the procedure that was involved, and I'm like, and I don't really know too, so maybe you can elaborate on that, but it looked at a glance with my minimal research that you have to jab yourself with some needle for a lot, like a period of time. I'm not sure if it was like a month or something. And I'm like, I'm not sure I can do that. Like, I'm pretty squeamish. Like, I don't know about jabbing. Like, I don't even know if I can do that. Like, physically, like,
Mhm.
I find I don't know if I can just actually do that. Just very
Mhm.
cringy thing to do.
Yeah.
And I don't, it seems like a much more difficult process than like I'm going into a clinic and then they do something and then it goes into a fridge. Like it's not as simple as that. So walk me through
No,
what
it's
that
not as
is
simple
really.
as that because you have to prepare your hormones. And yes, you do have to jab yourself on a daily basis for weeks. And you may have to do more than one cycle. And the hormones have side effects. A lot of women complain that they're very moody and teary when they have to do this because it's not easy.
Yeah. So walk me through what that process really is like if someone want to undergo that. Like, what is the preparation beforehand, like in terms of diet or what's the prep? And then
Well, you see that
what are the
IVF
yes.
clinics don't prep you in terms of
Oh,
diet or anything else.
okay.
This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to
Right.
say, listen, this diet and lifestyle are very, very important. But
Mhm.
they don't, they just use very high doses of hormones to try to trigger everything. And they don't really look at your health very much unless there's something really serious going on. But my point is, if you want those eggs to fertilize, you want higher quality eggs, you should make sure they're healthy eggs.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
And
whether you're
what does that
trying for
look like?
natural conception. Well, look at all the lifestyle things. I mean, it's really pretty basic to tell you the truth. And I'll tell you, I look at this through a lens of longevity medicine because I've been following longevity medicine for 25 years, going to
Mhm.
conferences. And the way to stay healthy for longer, I mean, you know, I'm sure you know two people who are 60, one who looks 80 and one who looks 40,
Uh,
right?
yeah,
People age.
absolutely.
And in longevity medicine, we can actually measure your biological age as opposed to your chronological age. So we can know if you're biologically younger or biologically older. There's various tests out there. The most commonly used one now is called the methylation test. It's looks at methylation patterns in your genome, and it can tell the rate at which you're aging and give you a biological age. So my contention is, if we know that we can be
What does that
biologically
involve?
younger, that's actually, you can do that as a blood test or a cheek swab. It's not a
Oh,
difficult
oh,
test
it's
at
a
all.
very simple
It's
process.
a simple test. Yeah, no craziness
Is it
there.
costly?
There are many versions. So you know, I've done a few, you know, at $300 to $400 to $500 in that price range.
Oh,
So they're very accessible. And there's people in longevity medicine tend to do that regularly on a regular basis to make sure that they're still staying ahead of the curve and not aging as fast as other people.
okay, hang on. So if we want to do this test, what was it called again? And watch how do we differentiate which one to do? Like if you're saying there are different tests, what should we ask for?
So I would ask for the methylation aging test, biological age test based on Horvath clock, Horvath epigenetic clock. So that is the newest research now there is more than one. There's various companies that do it.
Okay.
So that's the other issue. And you know, which company to go with, well, you know, that's a choice that you have, but
Mhm.
presumably they're all pretty similar in what they do.
Okay.
But you know, if you can be biologically younger,
Yeah.
presumably you can keep your fertility for longer. I mean, that's a stretch. I'm not saying it's proven, but I'm saying it makes sense.
Right.
um So I'm looking through that lens saying, rather than take your eggs out and freeze them, why not
Uh-huh.
make their environment better by making your body healthier and keep them there
This
for
makes so
longer?
much sense. Um,
It's very simple, right? But
yeah,
and
right.
it's simple
Yeah,
things. Lifestyle
that's so
is
good.
diet, exercise,
Hmm.
sleep, stress reduction,
All the
and
things we should be
reducing
doing.
All the things we should be doing. Yes, exactly.
Okay, hang on. All right, let's run with the scenario that someone go and do that test, which I don't remember. But guys, if you're watching this, you're gonna have to just watch the replay and catch it, right? I'll make sure I write it in the description. So once we do this, the result we get, well, if we get a result that's the number is less than what we are, I guess we kind of celebrate and go, well, we're doing something well. And if
That's
it's
right.
the other way, we're like, oh shit. Well, where do we go from that? So let's go with both scenarios. What's our action from that point?
So I this is what I wrote a book about, because it's basically a guide to look at all these various aspects of your life,
Yeah.
and it has action steps. So
Okay.
first,
Step by
you
step.
know, I think that the most important thing is actually that we are being bombarded with chemicals in the environment, in our air, in our water, in our food, in the products we use. And a
Yes.
lot of those chemicals are what are called endocrine disrupting chemicals. Have you heard that term?
No, it's too difficult. I can't even re-say it.
So basically it means like it's acting like a hormone in your body, but
Okay.
not like a normal hormone, like a crazy
Yeah.
hormone. So let's say it has a chemical composition that's very similar to a specific hormone. And the way hormones work in your body is they attach to a receptor, and that turns their activity on. So it's like a lock and key mechanism. Say that the hormone is the key in a lock, it opens the lock and it does stuff, right? Well, say if there's something chemically similar, it'll fit into the lock, but it might jam the lock. It might jam it open or jam it closed.
Okay.
So it doesn't behave normally.
Mm-hmm.
So it messes up your hormones. So there's thousands of chemicals out there that are being spewed into the environment and we're exposed to, and they are making all sorts of problems. For one thing, men's sperm counts have gone down by more than 50% in 2 generations. So
Wow.
yeah, men these days are a lot less fertile than their grandfathers were.
Mm-hmm.
By the same token, women are suffering all sorts of problems, like hormonal problems. You may have heard of endometriosis or polycystic ovarian syndrome. Those are 2 common gynecological conditions that can affect your fertility. And they may not be caused by those endocrine disrupting chemicals, but it's definitely made worse by them. So, you know, women are having these issues, or they're not ovulating regularly, or their eggs are not as good quality. Men are having problems that they're having less sperm and the sperm are damaged. And all of these things are resulting in fertility problems or more miscarriages. So basically, when it comes to those chemicals, you need to learn how to avoid them. So I tell my patients, get a really high quality air filter where
Oh,
you
wow.
sleep
Really?
and where you work if you can, because it's very clear that air pollution decreases fertility in both men and women. So breathe better air. Now, the problem is that our air,
Particularly when we sleep, does that matter more? Because I guess
no,
daytime
it's
we're
just
just
that
moving.
you spend 8 hours and hopefully 8 hours in one place. So that's an easy place to have an air filter.
Okay,
If you
gotcha.
work in
Because
a
that's one third
specific
of the
place,
day. Yeah.
yeah. So if you can do it where you work too, if you're sedentary and you have it in one place,
Actually, I
that's
am working from home.
well, wonderful. Get yourself a really high quality air filter, whether you want to get pregnant or not, just for your own health. HEPA filters are high quality. And you know, most of us have air
Sorry,
filters on
what
our
filters should we look for?
HEPA,
Oh,
HEPA.
yes. I remember seeing
Yeah, you've
those.
heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I was reading that it was really important to change the filters too, like very regularly.
Yes. You do need to change them. Like most of our furnaces have filters in them, but they're really not very high quality. So, you know, I have a furnace filter, but I also have a good filter near my bed. And the filter near my bed still picks up lots of stuff, even though I have the furnace filter.
Wait, can I just ask you,
Mhm.
we're saying just even in the air, even though it looks relatively clean, like I put it
Mhm.
into context, right? Like I'm kind of in Australia, like it looks pretty clean. There's kind of trees around me. We're still saying we should. Like first, I know, like if we're saying, you know, like if I was in Hong Kong, I'm like, no, for sure we need air filters because there's just like
Mhm.
so much pollution. It's a very density, like people are literally coughing all the time. Like it's turned to norm, like a
Right.
seasonal thing.
Yeah.
Everyone have like masks because this is like so dense. But are we saying no matter
Mhm.
where we are, we should still be looking into?
Yes, because even here, I mean, I'm in Canada and our
Yeah,
air is really pretty good. Like in
yeah, see?
Australia, it's very
Yes,
good.
exactly.
The
Yeah.
worst air in the world is actually northern India, Pakistan, and uh, just north of that would be Kazakhstan, I guess, and
Hmm.
Bangladesh.
Yeah.
They have a lot of industry and a lot of pollution. So they need to do it more than us. But
Yeah.
even with us,
Uh-huh.
um, for instance, I read a really interesting article about wildfires, and I don't know about Australia, but here we're getting more and more wildfires all the time, and the air blows the smoke in from way up north.
Mm.
Um, that has chemicals in it. So not only do these particles embed in your lungs, they bring nasty chemicals. So they've
Mm.
done a study looking at sperm counts in men before a wildfire and after wildfire. And there's a significant reduction in their sperm counts just from
Oh,
one
wow.
single wildfire.
Yeah, we get regular we have bushfire season. So yeah, it does every now and
Mhm.
then. Yeah, we'll see the wave like come through and the
Yeah.
smoke. Okay. So air filters. I want to ask you about water, like the water
Mhm.
filters. Do you recommend us putting drinking out of a filter? And is there a particular one? There are so many of them. Like which one should we look
Yes.
for specifically?
So I refer people to the Environmental Working Group. It's
Okay.
ewg.org. This is a US based organization that's mission is to inform people about pollution and how to mitigate the exposure to it. So they have a lot of great information. They have guides on buying air filters and guides on buying water filters. And so one of the things they do only in the US, unfortunately, so we don't have this in Canada, they have tested the water supply of every zip code in the United States. So they have a guide where you can get online, check your zip code, and see what's in the water. So when my daughter moved to a small town in New Jersey, I looked up the water and I was horrified because they had 13 contaminants in the water, 11 of which were above levels above the what should be maximum according to the Environmental Working Group. And some of the things in the water were like there was chloroform at like 348 times what it should be. Now, first of all, chloroform is an anesthetic agent, but it's not even used anymore. It's old. I don't even know how it gets in the water.
Mm.
Then they had hexavalent chromium, which I don't remember if you remember the Erin Brockovich case like 30 years ago in California. There was a paralegal who realized that a lot of people were dying of cancer in her small town.
Mm.
And she was able to prove that it was in the effluent from the Pacific Gas Company was had stuff in the water, which was poisoning
Mm.
people. And it turned out to be hexavalent chromium.
Whoa.
And there was a $300 million lawsuit, which 30 years ago was huge. They had to shut the town down. Nobody
That's
could live
smart.
there anymore.
Yeah.
They just tore it all down and everybody moved away.
Mm.
So she has stuff like that in her water. So I ordered a reverse osmosis water filter, a countertop one. You can get big ones for the whole house. That's very expensive, or you can
Mm.
get a countertop one where you just get water. I just had it delivered to her house and an air filter. So we're already working on making her eggs better quality.
Yeah. What about when it comes to food though? That's a little bit difficult, right? Because we're eating it from all sorts of places.
Yeah.
Do we avoid restaurants? Should we definitely buy organic product? Does it make much difference?
It makes a huge difference because pesticides are endocrine disrupting chemicals.
hmm,
So ideally, you should buy all organic, but of course, it's really expensive. But
yeah.
another thing the EWG does is it publishes a list every year. One list is called the Dirty Dozen, and it's not the movie The Dirty Dozen. It's the dozen fruits and vegetables that have the most pesticides. So those you really want to buy organic. And then they have a list called the Clean 15, and it's
Oh,
the
I remember.
cleanest.
It's like the stuff that has like really thin skin or something like that, right? Like
Yeah,
where,
so the thin skin one is tends to get more pesticide in it,
yeah,
whereas the thicker
like a
skin
capsicum or
tends
something.
not to. Like what?
like a capsicum
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
or like tomatoes or
Um,
something, like things that's just, those are the, like kind of what we mean by like the pesticide tend to just be there. Like, should we eat, does it make difference when we eat the skin or not eat the skin? Like say an apple, right?
mhm.
Should we peel it or not peel it? Because but then like if you people say like the fiber and like other nutrients is in the skin, but then so is the wax and the pesticides, right?
Yeah, yeah, they're often waxed. So the best thing to do is actually to wash it vigorously to try and get the pesticides and the wax off
Off before you.
before you eat it.
Mm,
But how many people actually do that?
nobody, especially
Not
the
too
wax.
many.
So you probably have to do something a little bit different for that to come off, right? Not because water is not really going to get it off, I don't think.
Well, if you scrub it with a brush, it'll come off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm. Okay,
So,
so look on the lists and just look out for the ones that we should avoid.
yeah.
And that's like
Now,
a
in terms,
yearly thing, or like they publish it very regularly?
it's a yearly thing. It's very similar every year, but it's a yearly thing. In terms of what kind of diet, of all the diets that have been studied, it's been
Mm.
shown that the Mediterranean diet is the best for fertility and general health.
What does that
Um,
include?
so Mediterranean diet is what you would imagine they would be eating in rural Italy or Greece. So they have it's plant-based, more
Uh,
plants than anything else. They have a lot of legumes. They don't really have much red meat, more fish or chicken.
okay.
They have nuts and things like avocados and olives and the oil, the healthy oils that are in that.
Hmm.
Um, so, so that's what's considered a Mediterranean diet. Now, you know, personally, I don't believe that we all have to have the same diet for health because I think genetically we vary. And,
Mm,
you know, it depends on our ancestors and what they ate.
right.
Um, so I believe in doing something called nutrigenomic testing. So that's genetic testing where you actually can tell how your genes interact with your nutrition and your nutrition with your genes. It
What? There's
tells you,
such things?
yes, exactly. So genetically, you may be lacking in, you may be needing certain vitamins which act as cofactors for your enzymes more than other people if your genetic pathways are not as strong. So that can inform you of, you know, what supplements you need. But also the foods you eat are, this is called epigenetics. They influence how your genes are expressed.
Mm,
So if everybody did this kind of testing, they would know better what they should eat. And actually, there's a group of researchers who developed a test called the Grow Baby test, which was looking at 40 different genes. And they did a study where they did it on a group of Medicaid patients in the US. And then they gave them a supplement plan based on their genetics during pregnancy. And then they followed 100 group of women in a private practice who just had regular antenatal care, nothing special, just the regular advice and the regular prenatal vitamins.
mm.
And the women in the Medicaid group had significantly less pregnancy-induced hypertension and pregnancy gestational diabetes. These are two medical problems that we see a lot in pregnancy, and they affect baby and mom and are serious disorders. So when I saw this, I thought, wow, this is groundbreaking. We all need to be doing this. But do you think it's being done? Conventional medicine
No,
doesn't even know
probably
about
from a
it.
lack of education. Like I'm not even aware that's out there. And I think that makes sense from the perspective that like there's all these different diet that comes out and people try all sorts of different things because like here's the next best thing, right? Like we'll go through these phases. But then this is really casting the light on, well, actually there's no real best thing, even if you can't follow it, that's a whole different story, right? But it's like even
Yeah.
if you follow it, it's like, well, but genetically it might not be for you. It's like it might be good for someone else, but not you. So if there was a specific test that you could do for yourself on your
Yeah.
body that shows you what you need, it's like, yeah, then it totally makes sense that everyone should do that. Then you can see exactly.
Mhm.
I'm not
But
aware, so
right now it's an extra cost. You've probably heard of 23andMe, right?
No.
Have you, you've never heard of that testing? Okay. So this is a company that came out, well, over 10 years ago, and it
Mm,
was giving you, it was a cheek swab, no, it was a spit sample. And they did a whole bunch of genetic tests on your spit sample. And it was, you didn't have to go through a doctor. It was for everybody who wanted it.
okay.
So it was the cheapest way to do genetic testing. It was amazing. Like I tested my whole family 10
Uh-huh.
years ago when this came out. More recently, they went bankrupt and they sold their data. So this is a big thing to another company. So people are all worried, my genetic data has been sold and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
Um, that's a potential risk. I guess somebody could use it nefariously, but I think
Mm,
it's unlikely. So there's other genetic tests now that are available, but they're pricey, they're hundreds of dollars. So it's really more like biohackers who use it to improve their ability, their sports ability, and to improve their bodies.
mm.
But in conventional medicine, doctors still aren't being taught about this. Like my daughter finished medical school 2.5 years ago, and she really had none of this in her training, which shocked me because this isn't that new, really. It's been around for years, but it
Yeah.
just seems like it's not being used for general health in the general population.
But you know what? If we take a step back, maybe this kind of information isn't out there because it's better for the economy. Like if people are healthier, then there'll be less people going to seek for help and like places like make profit in their own way, right? Like if they sell you medicine that's solving different
Well,
issues, like they're making money, right?
certainly, the pharmaceutical industry is definitely there to make money,
Yeah.
and they do not like things like this. They don't
Right.
like stem
Yeah.
cell work. They don't like platelet-rich plasma, and they probably don't like,
They will be broke
genetic
if
testing.
we're all healthy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's starting to be used in oncology, probably because the pharmaceutical companies are using it to make specific drugs for people with genetic variations.
Mm,
So it is being used there, and they're making a lot of money off those drugs.
mm.
But when it comes to general health, not yet.
I want to ask you a question around health, actually. Um,
Mhm.
when I go out with people these days, like new people that I meet, there's so many people that's got like health diet issues, like gluten free and like they can't eat certain things. It's like I never saw that problem before. Like, where's all
Mhm.
this like gluten stuff come? Like, it's just so common now. It's like, oh, I can't eat this and I can't eat that and I can't eat all of these things. It's like, where's it all coming
Yeah.
from? Like, is it because of, yeah, it is like all these chemical that is being introduced into our food that is altering people, and now they are allergic to all this thing because they weren't like that before. Like they could eat that stuff before, and now it's like, oh, I can't eat garlic and I can't eat onion and I can't eat this or that, or I'm gonna get bloated, and it's really affecting me. What's your
Well,
thoughts?
gluten is a very big issue because in North America, and probably same in Australia, it's
Mm,
been very, very hybridized to to grow a lot of it and to withstand pesticides. So it's GMO. So it's covered in pesticides, and that is part of the problem. And the other problem is it is very irritating to the gut, and a lot of people can't tolerate it. Now, some people have celiac disease where they actually have antibodies,
mm,
but there's a lot of people who just can't tolerate it, whether it's either because of the hybridization or because of the pesticides or both. So actually, I in North America, I believe that cutting down or cutting out gluten is probably healthier for most people. Now, a lot of people that will then go to Europe and
but this
find that
seems to be
it's not
in
so
so much
irritating.
food. Like it seems to
Mhm.
be like it seems to be in everything. Like they're like, oh, I can't have this sauce, or like they just end up being like, I want the salad with just like the salmon and no sauce, nothing. Like it becomes a really bland food.
Yeah, gluten is in a lot of things. Yeah, so
Right.
you really have to learn how to maneuver to have gluten. There's a lot more gluten-free food available now, but a lot of the time it has a lot of sugar in it and it's not that healthy.
Mm,
So you have to sort of know what you're eating. I mean, the safest thing is just to eat more healthy organic vegetables
okay.
in terms of generally speaking of a diet.
How much should people consume on a daily basis?
How much what? Vegetable?
Vegetable, yeah.
The more the merrier.
What does your diet look like? Can you run me through like a typical day for like
so,
breakfast, lunch, dinner? Do you have 3 meals or do you do like some
so
fast?
I actually don't eat breakfast. I find that intermittent fasting helps me maintain my weight. And
No
after
breakfast at all? No
menopause,
coffee, no tea?
coffee. I do have coffee
Okay. Yeah.
for breakfast. That's my
I'm not,
breakfast.
I'm not allowed to drink that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lunch is usually a salad, and it usually is lettuce, tomatoes, carrots. I mean, it's your usual salad. I like to put what do you call it? Not sesame seeds, sunflower seeds in my salad because I like it
Oh,
crunchy. I
that's a
like a lot of good oil,
nice. Yeah.
and a little bit of vinegar.
Hmm.
So that's pretty much what I eat. And then
It's
at
very clean.
dinner, we're trying to eat less meat. My husband and I, in general, and he's quite a big carnivore, but he's realized that he should eat less. So, oh, I am so sorry. Let me just turn this off. So sometimes sometimes we'll eat fish, we'll eat chicken, we'll eat meat, but other times we will just eat like lentils or tofu or other high
Hmm.
protein substitutes, and then
Right.
vegetables, and then maybe some rice or something like that for dinner.
Okay.
So
No
it's
supper,
nothing.
right? No snacks.
No snacks. Well, it depends. But yeah, so that's the general
Okay.
guideline. And we do go out. I mean, we travel, so you do go out, and obviously you don't want to be on restaurant food too much. It's interesting, but my husband likes to cook, so we try
Yeah.
to get hotel rooms with kitchenettes, and often he'll be cooking when we're away, which is great
Oh,
because I don't cook.
wow. Yeah. Do you have cheat days where you like on Saturday I'm just gonna eat whatever I want?
No, I don't think of it as a cheat day. I mean, I will have sweets sometimes. I know they're not great for me, but I do love ice cream. So every once in a while, I'll have some ice cream, or I love dark chocolate. I'll have that. I mean, you can't cut those things out of your life. You have to live, but it's what you do most of the time that counts, not what you do on the occasional time.
Yeah, that is so true. It's like the consistency of doing it. The
Mhm.
odd occasion is not going to really harm you, right? Um,
Exactly.
okay. So I think most people would want to increase their lifespan, and fertility is like part of that really, because the healthier you are, then naturally that would just be
Mhm.
part of it. So if we were to wrap this up, so people are really clear if they want, like maybe they haven't been living a very healthy lifestyle, and they're like, now it's like, oh, I really, this is the trigger, right? Um, let's go with like 5 key things they should focus on.
Okay, so I mean, I could make it really broad categories, but then, like,
Do it as
improve your diet.
helpful as you think they can, like if they were going to go, okay, I heard this episode, but this is what I'm going to introduce into my life. Let's see what that looks like.
Okay, let's say you're wanting to get pregnant, and you say, okay, I'm going to change my life. I would do nutrigenomic testing to find out exactly how I metabolize foods.
Mm-hmm.
And I would start with a Mediterranean-like diet that maybe has some variation for me. And I would supplement according to my genetics. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the EWG and I would learn about water filters, air filters. There's also an app you can put on your phone called the Healthy Living app, and you can scan products in the store before you buy them. Like personal care products like shampoos and body washes and body lotions have a lot of them have tons of chemicals. So you
Oh,
want to buy the ones that have the least chemicals. Same with cleaning supplies. Okay, so you clean up your environment with these things. Okay, then you make sure you're sleeping enough. This is so many people sleep really. I don't understand how they do that. Lack of sleep is a form of torture. Why do people do this to themselves, right?
Can we talk
Make
about
sure
this?
you get enough. What's that?
Okay, we'll finish the wrap up and then let's talk about the sleeping one because I think
We'll
I'm
talk
guilty
about
of
sleep, okay?
that.
A huge one is stress management, okay? We all say we're stressed, and yet what do we do about it? And we have to think a little bit more carefully about what is stressing us. Can we cut it out? Now, not everything we can cut out. Obviously, if your job is stressful and you can't quit your job, you think about how you can make your job less stressful. But then also introduce something which helps you manage stress. And there are actually programs specifically made for women who are trying to get pregnant, like a mind-body program with weekly webinars for 10 weeks. And it's been proven to improve your fertility if you go through this program. Or something like, are you aware of Heart Math? Do you know Heart Math? That's a company that makes a monitor that monitors your HR. Have you heard of your heart rate variability? Like
I have, but
you
I
can
don't sync it up to measure anything.
okay. So you can actually change your heart rate variability. Your heart rate variability is the variability between the beats of your heartbeat, which is normal. It's never the same because your parasympathetic and sympathetic system are constantly working against each other. But most of us have too much sympathetic and too little parasympathetic because we're stressed. And that gives you a very a choppy type of change of heartbeat. What you want is a variation that's very smooth. It's called coherence. And you can actually improve this with meditation type breathing exercises. You can get an app on your phone that measures your heart rate variability, and it'll take you through those exercises, and you can improve your health and
Wait, the app
decrease your
can
stress.
measure it?
Yeah, it's got a little plug that goes on your ear, and it measures your heart rate variability, and it puts it into your smartphone.
For like an Apple thing, or is it like all phones?
It can be it attaches to any phone. It's an app called Heart Math.
And it picks up the beat from your ear.
From your ear.
On any headphones?
No, it's not a headphone. It's a little clip that clips on your earlobe.
Oh, so you have to buy a little device.
Yeah, it's a little device. It comes with the app and this device that plugs into your phone. So it shows you what your heart rate. It's a really cool thing. I think like people are learning about heart rate variability now because their Oura ring measures it or what, but they don't realize that one, it's a measure of your general health and your fertility, and two, you can improve it.
Yeah. You know, before I had one of those things that kind of like measures your heart rate and stuff. And then I started getting really stressed from it because it was just like, it's beating at like 120. I was like, why is it beating so fast? And I'm like abnormal. I think I was like a little bit sick at that time. And so maybe it was like doing something. And then it started making me freak out even more. Then I started feeling really bad. And then so like, then I stopped using it because I'm like, no, I can't. Because like if it randomly like alerts me, it's like, it's freaking me out. Like, I'm healthy normally. So now I'm not using it. But I like the idea of maybe you can just clip something on every now and then because you're measuring something.
Yeah, I mean, you can spend 10 minutes a day to relax yourself and work on improving your health.
That sounds like a plan. Okay, let's talk about the sleeping one before we jump off.
Okay, let's go back to sleep.
Okay, yeah. So you were saying that you don't understand why anyone would not sleep as much because it's torture. Let's elaborate. Okay, so from the perspective of that, I'm guilty of this. So I'm actually not in a stressful work environment because I am the boss and I don't stress myself either. My work is actually really fun and I have time. So there's actually no good reason why I'm not sleeping enough or sleeping late. However, I do find myself late at night, like I could be like scrolling on the phone or just no good reason till like 1, 2 in the morning. But then construction noises will wake me up at like 7 or 8 because that's happening next to me at the moment. And so I get woken up. And so I think I'm like not sleeping enough now. So tell me about the torture bit so it can like get to me and then I make sleeping a higher priority. I logically know it's important, but like you throw it at me. So I'm like drown in it. I'm like, okay, I get why it's torture.
Yeah, so having been through medical residency training and so forth, I mean, I've had to go through nights and nights of lack of sleep. So I realized that it was torture a long time ago, but it's a very effective form of torture, sleep deprivation. I mean, it really drives people crazy. And yet a lot of people don't value their sleep. Well, like yourself, you don't really feel that it's doing anything for you, but maybe if you tried to sleep 8 hours a night for a couple of weeks, just make yourself, and the best thing to do is to keep the rhythm the same, right? Because your body likes rhythms, circadian rhythms. Ideally, we should go to bed at nightfall and get up at sunrise, but that is very difficult, especially if you live in certain places where there's not enough sun. But anyway, but at least have a regular rhythm that is predictable, that your body can predict. And then make sure that your sleep environment is adequate. So, you want to be in a dark place that's cool, that has no distractions. And if you need to wear a sleep mask, that's very helpful. And just don't use screens, because the light from screens keeps you awake.
The
Or
phone
use
is
those
getting
blocking
banned.
glasses.
The phone is getting banned in this room
Yeah,
for 2 weeks.
ideally don't have the phone near you. It's not even a healthy thing to sleep near your phone, because I really believe that the electromagnetic waves that it produces are not very healthy.
Okay. Yeah.
So leave it in another room. I mean, I know we can't live without them, obviously, but
yeah, no, I think it's possible. Just get our old school alarm clock if needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you live a day without your smartphone?
I have lived 10 days without it before, and that has been the most amazing time of my life where I have the most clarity. I did one of those Vipassana 100 hours meditation for like 10 days, and our phones got confiscated. And I didn't feel a need for it. I did not miss it.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, I would find it difficult because I rely on it so much, but I think that's great to go through something like that. Where you can separate yourself from your phone completely. It's healthy.
I think it's just a good reminder how important it is, because I do, like when I came out of that, I was like, oh my God, I have never been so clear in my mind. Like it's like so many things and so many ideas. It's like everything comes together in such a clean way. And yeah, just energetically, it is amazing. So thank you for reminding me about that.
Was that like a meditation? Was it one of those ones where you can't speak to anybody for 10 days?
Yeah, you can't speak. There's no dinner. You keep to yourself, no eye contact. Yeah.
And how much were you sleeping then?
Enough. I think we were forced to go to sleep after 9. I have to get up by 4. Yeah, we definitely had we definitely had the 8 hours. Good question.
I'm sure that was part of why you felt well. It's getting enough sleep is huge, huge, huge. The other thing is that a lot of people suffer from sleep apnea, and they don't realize that they're not getting quality sleep unless their partner says you're snoring or you're stopping breathing during the night. But a lot of people don't know they're doing this. And it turns out that 80% of women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, who I see a lot of, have sleep apnea. But they're young, so nobody thinks, people always associate having sleep apnea with being old and very overweight, but that's not the only time it happens.
Actually, I think I'm not sure what is really the sign of that, but I have woken up a couple of times where I think I stopped breathing momentarily, and that in my dream, I was just like, I couldn't breathe in my dream. And then I was like, oh my, and I started freaking out. And then so like when I actually woke up, I was like, like that. I was like, oh man, I think I stopped breathing for a moment.
Interesting. Well, there's apps that you can get on your phone. I don't like you to have your phone with you, but this is one good reason to have it. It's actually a snoring app that you will actually record you snoring, but it will also record if you stop breathing, what happens. And you can see if you need some help in that way, because
Okay.
high quality sleep is important, not just any sleep.
Okay. I will noted. Noted. And tell me about your book. I know you have is it already out or it's coming out?
It's coming out hopefully mid-January, but this is my first time writing a book and publishing a book. So I just hope the
Congratulations.
timelines. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. I hope it will come out then, but I am gearing up. It's being formatted as we speak. I've seen the first couple of chapters. It's looking good. I'm excited.
Yeah. And
So
what
I
is it
actually,
called? And what can people
it's called
anticipate?
Optimize Your Fertility Naturally, a holistic guide to achieving a healthy pregnancy. So there's information on my website, drmarinaobgyn.com. I actually have a wait list that you can sign up for if you want. And also I do a weekly blog on fertility issues, so people can sign up for that as well.
I will be sure to drop the link and share it with the listener. Thank you so much for coming
Great.
in, Dr. Marina.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Excel in life, live your purpose, be free.